This is the second part of lecture. In the previous part, we have discussed oligopoly in detail, and we have also talked about characteristics of oligopoly, and also we did an example with the help of table, and we have discussed collusions and cartels as well. Now in the second part of the lecture, we will discuss the equilibrium for an oligopoly. The equilibrium which we get under the oligopolistic market structure is known as Nash equilibrium. Nash was the economist who has presented equilibrium condition in case of oligopoly market structure. So a Nash equilibrium is a situation in which economic actors interacting with one another each choose their best strategy given the strategies that all others have chosen. If we talk about duopoly, there are two actors which are competing each other. So when they interact with each other and each one of the economic actor or a firm choose best strategy given the strategies that all other firms have chosen. So they must consider what other firms have chosen, what they have decided to produce and charge, and then they decide about their strategy. So it is known as Nash equilibrium. When firms in an oligopoly individually choose production to maximize profit, they produce quantity of output greater than the level produced by the monopoly and less than the level produced by competition. So when an oligopolistic firm produces individually without cooperating in order to maximize the profit, so the quantity produced would be greater than the quantity produced by monopolistic firm as well as perfectly competitive firm. So the oligopoly price is less than the monopoly price because in case of oligopoly there are few firms which are competing each other. Either they are cooperating or producing at their own self-interest. But in case of monopoly, there is only one firm and there is no competition. So the price charged by the oligopolistic firm is less than the monopoly price, but it is greater than the price charged by the perfectly competitive market, where price is equal to the marginal cost. So the oligopoly price is less than the monopoly price but greater than the comparative price, which equals the marginal cost. Next slide is how the size of an oligopoly affects the market outcome. Suppose that the size of a market has increased due to the increase in number of sellers. So how this increase in the number of sellers can affect the price and quantity of the oligopolistic market? And here are two effects. First is the output effect and the other one is the price effect. So coming to the first effect, that is output effect, it illustrates that because price is above marginal cost, selling more at the going price raises profits. As we know that in case of oligopoly, price is always above the marginal cost, but this price is less than the monopoly price. When the price is greater than the marginal cost, new firms enter the market, they produce more and also supply more, and the quantity produced and supplied then increases. When more quantity is sold in the market on the existing price level, then this will raise the profit as well. Now the second effect is the price effect. Raising production will increase the amount sold, which will lower the price and the profit per unit sold on all units sold. When number of sellers increase, uh, it means that production also increases. With increase in production, supply also increases, and when the supply increases in the market, it then reduces the price and profit of the firm. So here we discussed that how the size of an oligopoly affects the market outcomes, and it has two effects, that is output effect and price effect. In output effect, when number of sellers increase, uh, then the quantity produced and sold also increases, and when more quantity is sold on existing price level which is greater than the marginal cost, then it will raise the profit of the firm. And the second effect is the price effect, that shows that production increases with increase in number of suppliers. When supply of the product increases in the market, then it reduces the price and profit per unit on all the units sold. In short, we can say that if output effect is greater than price effect, then firm increases the production. And if the price effect is greater than output effect, then the firm reduces production. As the number of sellers in an oligopoly grows larger, an oligopolistic market looks more and more like a competitive market. If the number of sellers in the oligopoly market continue to increase, then the size of the market also increases, and this would look like a competitive market where price is equals to marginal cost, and also price is equals to average revenue as well as marginal revenue. The price approaches marginal cost and the quantity produced approaches the socially efficient level. The firm is producing at the efficient level in perfectly competitive market when the marginal cost passes through the minimum point of the average total cost curve. That point is known as socially efficient scale of production. Next slide is of game theory and the economics of cooperation. Game theory is the study of how people behave in strategic situations. So game theory basically deals with the strategic decisions made by the firms. And these strategic decisions are those in which each person, in deciding what actions to take, must consider how others might respond to that action. Strategic decisions are those decisions basically that when a firm is taking any decision, it always consider how the other firms will react, or they make their own decisions. So these type of decisions are known as strategic decisions of the firm. Because the number of firms in an oligopolistic market is small, each firm must act strategically. And each firm knows that its profit depends not only on how much it produces, but also on how much the other firms produce. When we talk about the game theory, we have to discuss strategic decisions as well. Uh, that are taken by the firms. So in that case, firm must decide how much to produce, and it depends on its competitors as well, that how much other firms are producing in the industry and how the other firms are making their own decisions. Here the strategic in making strategic decisions, it means that uh, what a firm is deciding depends upon what other firms are deciding or making decisions of selling their products and earning the profits. So each firm knows that its profit depends not only on how much it produces, but also on how much the other firms will produce.